Good job, Andrew. Did Andrew leave the clicker? Is it? Oh, is that what it looks like? Is that the new technology? Did you hear Nixon resign?
Such a wacky.
How are you?
Yahoo!
Yeah. It's funny, looking at Joe, we were just talking this morning, and I thought it was a year ago, and Joe says, no, it's more like 14 months, and I'm not counting, he says, but it's 14 months and a week. And it's like, wow, it's been that long. It seems like it's just like a minute ago. Time just, here I am again. And so what I thought I'd do is just pick up right where I left off from 14 months ago. So as I was saying, no, but where I would like to start though is to cite a particular statistic from what's called the GSA. It's the Gerontology Society of America. I don't know why they say America because it's really international. Gerontology is a study of aging. That's right. So they're the people that look out for us. They're trying to figure out how we can live a longer life, and I'm all about that. On the other side of the spectrum, another G word, geriatrics, is. I'm sorry? Jerry Gibbs, no, but thanks for playing. No, it's actually fighting diseases. So we're kind of covered on both ends of the spectrum. You know, we've got people looking out for us and giving us advice how to live a longer life. And then when we get ill, we got people, you know, working on diagnosis and stuff. And then in the middle is all the stuff that we do that we're supposed to be taking care of ourselves. And I think it's one of the reasons that we only have the sales meeting once a year. Right? But so the GSA, the statistics, so they've been in the works for like since the 70s, you know, 60 countries, and all this data comes in, and I won't get into data on that out. But so they've collected all this information, and they've got a general statistic on the leading predictor of living a long life, and I'm, you know, very interested in that. And it turns out to be, and you know, my conventional thinking, and maybe not yours, but it has nothing to do with drinking alcohol or not drinking alcohol. So I as soon as I found that out, I put a post on Baker's wall. The Mediterranean diet is good for you, but that's not the leading predictor. And exercise is, you know, good for you, not the leading predictor though. The leading predictor of living a long life is if you like your job. Yeah, amen. I know it. And so I guess it has something to do with like taking care of yourself and being happy, but more than that, it's spending that energy, you know, upstairs and in your body for a good thing, and then it reflects on your family and, you know, the kind of person you are. So that's pretty cool. But I bring that up mainly because I appreciate all that energy that you guys pour into this stuff, and my family and I thank you dearly. So thank you very much for all of that, and we're going to live a long life together. So great. Thank you.
Yay!
Now, as far as Dave Diddy,
He's homesick.
where's Dave? Is he here? Is he not here?
He's sick.
Oh, is he? Oh, surprised. Dave would be saying, well, John, if you love your job so much, you can live this long life. And I do. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Here I am again, so I love what I do. He'd say, then why do you always look like hell? And the answer to that is I've got a couple of years on Dave, actually, and in August I'm going to be 127 this year. On Friday, tomorrow, one of us, dramatic pause, one of us that's here is actually going to be changing clothes and putting on a cap and a gown and receiving a diploma for a degree that was earned in business, computer systems, and management. And I'm happy and blessed to tell you that that person actually works for me. It's Sheila Stamper.
Yay!
Something? Good job, Sheila. Right. I don't tell her enough how much I appreciate her and celebrate the heck out of that. I'm actually celebrating myself this year. Not that kind of bomb, actually. It's kind of a graduation. It's my 25th wedding anniversary. I know. Yeah. Yeah. And I had to Google this because I didn't know what you're supposed to exchange, when I'm 24, 25 years, and turns out diamonds work. Yeah, in your family. Yeah. So anyone know what's the precious metal?
Silver.
Silver, I know, yeah. So I go to the jeweler, not like I'm gonna buy anything because we've got enough plastic knives and forks in the drawer. But I was trying to figure out, what the most important question. What is a guy, after 25 years, buy for his child bride, and and he says it's not what you buy, it's how much you spend, and so I asked, well, what is the average? And he says, not 1, not 2, but 3 months of your annual salary. Ooh. And I remember I put my head in my hands and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna call Steve Dick, because where in the world am I gonna come up with $400? I know. Yeah. Oh, so it's an honor to be on the circuit with these speakers. Unbelievable leadership, huh? I mean, just incredible, the direction that we're headed. Lars, I mean, what a riveting guy. Yeah, he had me at B. Gates. But I always learn from these folks, though, these executive operations guys. They got it down. So if you make note of this, what you do is first you show pictures of your family and talk about their names and stuff like that. Then you put everybody to sleep and you get the heck out of here so you don't have 175 people kill you. Right? I know.
Oh, you should be recording this.
I wanted to mention Arturo. Is he still here? That movie just tore me up at the end. I mean, really, that was incredible. Remember? Now he probably doesn't remember this, but it was HR before. Is it P&P or PP? Is it P&P? Before it was P&P, we just called it personnel. Remember those days? Anybody? And if you didn't have a personality and you didn't get along with people, they stuck you in personnel. Remember that? I know that because if you don't have a personality and you don't get along with people and you got a hair that looks like this, they stuck me in data processing. Yeah. But those days are over, and in those days, if you drank a little bit more than the average fish, they stuck you in sales. But yeah, kudos to the speakers. Rob Glassmeyer, just awesome. Steve Dick, Jeff Barna, how about that guy? Huh? Wow. I know. I called my wife twice. I swear to God, I said, I've never seen leadership like this, and it's true. I honestly mean, the last guy that even came close, I have some of his ashes on my office wall and a plaque. That's Jeff is amazing, like blow your socks off leadership, honestly though. And he's eloquent and yet he's firm. Anybody get that? Right? And so he's got this saying, I think it's something like, don't bring a pocket knife to a gunfight, something like that. You know? Something like that. But I guess before I move on, it wouldn't be complete if I didn't say something about his fireside chats. You know, maybe it's just me, but I figured out after listening to the first one that I record them now. I do, and I'll replay them like if I'm on the treadmill or riding my bike and stuff like that. And I have to say that, and you have to try this. If you haven't tried this, listen up. There's nothing more satisfying in life or therapeutic than listening to Jeff Wagner suffering like a beat mule in the Budweiser hot seat. Is that awesome? All right, I'm getting this from the back, so it's like Jody Arias' trial. Juan Martinez back there. Okay, so 14 months ago, apparently, Joe, we were talking about people and leadership, and we talked about, you remember the dean of the French School of the Mines? Remember this guy, Frederick Laplay? And he was the guy that brought all of this human capital stuff that we do today, and it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. On the first day, somebody actually said the value isn't in the people, it's in the opportunities, and that's what this guy kind of brought to light. And after he passed on his work, there were a couple of Nobel Prizes won from that. And I can tell how clear that is from 14. Yeah, and it really hit home, and I didn't realize until I got back to the office, and I got a couple tweets actually. A couple people tweeted me. The first one, this one was from Pete McNulty, and Pete said, "John, what the hell was that?" You know, the thing about Twitter, you only get 140 characters. This is really a compliment, and I appreciate that, really. You got to read between the words to interpret, you know, what. And then it looks like, yeah, Dave Diddy wasn't ill, at least he was healthy enough to send me this tweet. My old faithful Lars Flink Jr. Thank you, sir. All right, Lars. And this is what I don't like about Twitter, because you only get 140 characters, and I was really interested to know what the entire message said that I got from Steve. I don't know. I'm not sure who Terry is. Okay, so just talk a little bit about technological progress. We say it a lot, I guess, and Paul Hahn said it's pretty important to his business at Hilliard, so that was pretty cool, actually hearing, you know, our external audience. And I think, you know, just me, but I think there's two kinds of improvements. One comes from fundamental breakthroughs, and the other is from incrementally improving on those breakthroughs. And they're both kind of the same because they have, you know, huge positive consequences. But the difference is in predictability. You know, you never know when a huge breakthrough is going to occur. You want something over a period of time, and then it happens. But what happens next is very predictable, and kind of like we're, you know, working in human resources or personnel. There's things that you can almost predict, right? And so, as an example of that, in 1903, a couple of brothers I think it was Steen 1 and Steen 2. It was our first flight. That was a huge breakthrough for us. I mean, we looked in the sky since the beginning of man and wanted to be there. And after that, things really started to cook. And we started putting teams together. And the next thing you know, here we are in 1969, and we break the sound barrier. So nothing happened until those two brothers came together, and then more teams formed. And here we are in 1969 when Barna's mother walked in on his bedroom.
Oh, God, yeah.
So you can't find this on the internet because I created this. And if you look at the blue line, and I purposely didn't make it straight, but there's some desired outcome, whether it's flight or something that happens in the lab, something that you want, some need or vision that you have, and then suddenly, boom, there's a breakthrough. And look what happens next. And I wasn't sure what's more important, the value of what happens next from the teamwork, or how fast does it accelerate? So on my y-axis, I put value and then the formula of acceleration. Another real example of this, here again, a couple of people, Watson and Crick, and there's some controversy about this, of whether they really were the ones to, discover the double helix is what it's called, basically DNA, or structure for DNA. Pretty incredible. Apparently now there's some controversy that they stole some metallography or something from another gal, and they're really, dragging her into the picture. The big thing is, we say we're, still trying to decode the human genome. We've been done with that. We're done with that. We did that in 2003. And what was amazing to me was I get Popular Science, and in the next couple of months, you're going to see this device. It's cost $1,000 with a USB, and I'm not blowing smoke. This thing will actually sequence DNA. So you can buy it, and you can put a skin cell or a hair follicle or a piece of grass, any living organism, and it will decode that. And you would use this, as we get older, our genes actually change. So as we can collect that information and feed that information in, to medical professionals, we can hopefully start to live longer. So that's pretty amazing how we have a breakthrough, and then we have that incremental improvement. We've all looked at the night sky. We've been doing that since man, again. We kind of knew. I mean, we see it on even walls on caves, plotting this stuff out and working out the math and stuff like that. But really, to me, this was the breakthrough. This is where we could really start to see what was going on and start to do the math of our universe. And what we're finding is the universe, it has an end. It based on the math, and they call it the Goldilocks formula, meaning not too hot, not too cold. Are there any Earths out there like us? Is there any water or organic material? There are 1 billion Earths in our own little teeny galaxy. 1 billion. And if you look at the whole universe as we measure it today, there's 1 billion. And there's actually more than that. It's called sextillion, because there's 21 zeros. It's amazing, incredible at what we can see now. And what's very interesting about this image is that the universe is accelerating, which blows everybody's mind, because it defunks what Einstein said and all of his followers, and a couple people that could decode his formulas, and they had to back into it to even understand it. But if you look at the way the universe is expanding, it's accelerating as it expands, and that just defies all theory. And so we're trying to understand that, because it doesn't make any sense at all. Things are supposed to contract, and they're supposed to slow down, and they're not. It's pretty incredible. And so I wanted to show this in China, in a remote place. There's actually a subterranean mine that caved in, so they've got this big void in the earth, and they put this dish in there, and it's like 500 meters. It's huge, 40 football fields, and it's going to be finished in 2016. We're going to be able to start to identify what that energy is that's at the cusp of the universe that's causing it to expand and accelerate. And they call that, you might have heard it, dark energy. Anyone hear that term, dark energy? It's a force that we can't understand. in that universe that we looked at, bring that up one more time. In this universe, we're like 75,000 years away from the next closest solar system, like ours. We'll never get there. We can't get there. But if we understand this negative dark energy, and they're already predicting this, that we can take that energy and put it behind and in front of a craft and actually move faster than the speed of light. And it doesn't mean that that our body is going to be moving, we're going to be bending time. And it's hard to get your head around that stuff, but it's very interesting, and we're going to hear more about that. My theory is that these types of breakthroughs, you don't have to find in a lab, and they don't have to be under a microscope. You don't need scientists and engineers. They can happen right here in Plymouth, in business, and they're very rare. Very rare. I believe that it has happened, and it was last summer in September, actually, and it was when we hired Jeff Barna. That's what I believe. Actually, it's what I know. And this is kind of the song that he sings, and I had to bite my tongue last night when Marty asked the magic question, and kudos to whoever answered it. But this is the song sheet, and it's pretty simple. And this is what makes Jeff Barna, and this is what he'll tell you, and I've heard it 3 times because I recorded what he wants us to do. It's really pretty simple stuff. And why not? You know, who here would say no? So, this is the Barna universe that we're all in. Big round of applause. So it's not a vision anymore, it's the real deal. And every universe needs a university. I'm not going to talk about numbers other than, more than that, the second line, I guess. It's unbelievable that we get 400 course completions a month. That just blows my mind. It's, you know, I'd like more. We don't market this stuff other than through you guys. So, you know, the more you can be talking about this, and you know, Marty brought it up when he hired me. You know, what can the you do for you? And that's what we're always asking. And there's a lot of areas in the universe we haven't touched yet. So your ideas as you're not sleeping in the morning are always welcome. I graphed out that second bullet. E-learning, what's going on with that? Well, when I first got into it, you know, we didn't know. It was so new. E-learning, is it better? Is it the best thing since sliced bread, or is it, you know, not so good compared to classical training? And we're finding out now that it's almost better because it takes less time, which we don't have a lot of, and things are more sticky. Now there's a lot of variables. Is it good training? Is it bad training? Well, is there good classroom training or bad classroom training? This is from the International Association of Continuing Education and Training, and then they take note of all this stuff. You name an Ivy League school that's not doing e-learning today. And I put a number on here, 1 billion. See that billion? This second, 1 billion people are online taking training. Isn't that something? It's hard to imagine, hard to grip. You can see $56 billion were spent this year. It's going to double here in the next couple of years. Just amazing to me. I just wanted to focus on one thing before I move on. 77% of U.S. companies are doing it, but this is, to me, this is still a good sell tool because only 23% are focusing on their end customers. So we started out right, and we're always going to be in the lead there. I just wanted, I could bring up all kinds of things. Sheila and I beat this to death. What should we talk about to provide that thought leadership so that you can think about maybe the possibilities of what the you can do for you? We're invested now. We took ownership of the poster. So we're going to do posters now, and we've got a great jump on these. So expect that to blend in, and we're going to talk a little bit more about blending here. Oh, there's Sheila. Yeah. Oh, and Dave Eckhart. Yes, I'm glad I backed up. I got to tell you, this guy works under the radar. Everybody know Dave Eckhart?
Yep.
This guy has done more photography than I've ever seen in my career. And I'm an old guy, you heard, right? Dave Eckhart, we can reuse all of his work, and he's always out there. And he never raises his hand. You know, he works quietly in the back. He's like a ninja, isn't he? But kudos to this guy. I mean, I don't give him enough credit. So we're leveraging that, and we've got these little images for these posters. Guess what we can do with that? We can put them on applications for mobile. And touch on that just a little bit. So we're using his work again and again and again. Dave Chen, amazing. I only brought this up because it blew my socks off. I got involved in this personally. I didn't know what Easy Parts was. If you haven't seen it, you gotta try it. And this is a neat little lesson. His guy talks for about, 15, 20 minutes. I use this analogy on the phone, and it got really quiet. We had Denmark on the line, so I don't think they got it. I said, if you'd never had a picture of yourself, or you didn't look in the mirror, and somebody showed you, the human skeleton, how much would you learn from that? And you'd be feeling yourself and going, oh, that's why this works. Well, that's what this thing does. It's amazing what Easy Parts does. In of itself, it's a learning tool. So I'm really happy that we have a learning tool that demonstrates a learning tool that helps dealers teach and learn. It's really pretty fantastic. And it's not just bill of materials and drawings. I guarantee you. You gotta see that. And it's out there, it's available right now already. I bring this up because do we still call it Sanders, or is it specialty business now? Both? Is it both? Yeah, I feel like I let you guys down when we did the Clark launch. What was that, AJ? Okay. I'll bite my tongue. I put AJ's name on this because he rounded up Ron Moody, and Ron did an excellent job shooting this thing. It lasted for a couple of days. They did all the products. We just got started. This is a 7-course curriculum. It's excellent. So kudos, Sanders guy. We finally got something for you guys. I put Mike Cannett's name on here. I wish I would have put Brian Simmons. I didn't know this morning. I didn't make a connection between the SC 1500 and what's it called?
Thunderbird.
The Thunderbird. Thank you. We worked. How many hours did we put in on a simulator for the Thunderbird to help in the design effort? It's all done. Now all we have to do is release it, and we have a training aid. So it's really cool. This whole modeling and simulation, very, very cool. Prototyping. So again, you lay awake at night and you go, gee, like Andrew Petit. Him and I have talked several times. I want to get back on Pete McNulty. That's really interesting about your brush thing. You've got a little tool. Hey, we can automate that and make it available to the masses. So stuff like this is just really neat. Tom Pauschenbach. Tom brought this to the table the other day. It's brand new. As soon as I get back to the office, it'll be available. I mean, it's done, finished. All we have to do is make it available. And I didn't know that there must be some competitive leasing stuff going on. I didn't know that until I saw somebody's slide the other day. Well, if everything is equal, if those three are equal, and you watch this, I know who you're going to pick, because this guy is awesome. And I should be pointing up here. This guy is awesome that we've got captured here. So it's a little about a 15-minute lesson with Marlin Investments. It's very cool. This is stuff we're doing outside of our group. I'm not sure if anything's really, you saw we did a survey. We've got a must-win battles team. We're still trying to feel our way. Where does the university fit? The survey said, everybody wants e-learning. Well, show me the money. China, they're doing very well. We counted up, we had 1,200 courses complete. Italy's doing great. This is one of those Denmark slides, but I created it, and the hard part, I've got about 15 hours invested in the slide, but it's more about the thinking, and I'm not going to bore you to death. Basically, you can lead a student to courses, but you can't make them learn, that sort of thing. So we're figuring out how to work it backwards. Where's their business need, and how does that translate into humans on the street that have a knowledge gap? So this is basically what we're working with our global P&P team on. And on the flip side of that is how we're going to evaluate that. And this is if anybody is not familiar with this is lean enterprise term, policy deployment. The good news is Jeff Barna is very familiar with this term. And we're going to see more of that term here coming up in all the things we do. I've got the feeling. Vertical markets, yes, we're addressing healthcare and food and beverage. John Lee, government, This is an example of John Lee's stuff that he's got cooking. I'm guessing he probably told you about that in his session. We have, this is Jill and Kim's show. Where's Jill and Kim? There's Kim and there's Jill. Yeah, so you heard about that in their session on hospitality. Some really cool tools that we have available on the GPO side for those guys. Government, this is Greg and Dave and Julie and Angie, and I'm missing one person, Eric. Yeah, Eric. We had lunch together. He is funny. He's a funny guy. Two more slides, folks. I thought I'd throw blended learning in. We mentioned the posters. That's what I mean by blended. It's like, well, you got your technical stuff, and then we got posters. So I mentioned this. You can go to the U and actually find out when is the classroom training. Then we got guys like Eric and Jeff Nolan that they're testing people and giving them e-courses before they even show up to the factory. So that gives them the ability to dive much deeper when they do show up. I use this term e-prereq. I made it up. I went to GoDaddy. It's available. So if anyone wants that .com, it's $19 a year. eprereq.com. So that's what I mean. That you can take the courses before you come to the factory. For the burnishing guys, the propane guys, they've been, like Kevin and the national guys, they've been teaching in the field. Now we can test. So you get finished teaching, tell everybody to come to the U and take a test, and then they can earn their certificate signed by Jeff Barna, and take your points and get a cool John Sakschek shirt, right? That kind of stuff. Sales and service, Brenda, bless your heart. You send all your people as you hire them, they come to the U, so we're pretty excited about that. And sales. And then the last line was just to see if Doug is awake. I was hoping that by today I would show you the new U, or Nilfisk U 2.0. I can't, and we're probably about at least 60 days out. But I can show you 6 bullets. So good news is no more halls. So places go away. It's an open concept. You just go there, and we have a nice menu. Service training, sales training, operator training, boom, and it's all tailored. So yeah, I agree. And I'll show you what the menu looks like in a second. We're building it. Well, actually, we can't take the credit. The technology that we're using, it's all mobile, so that it knows, is my device this big or is it this big? No questions. Will it work on Windows? Windows phones. Yeah. The short answer, yes. Now there's a but, and it has to do with, are we talking Android or are we talking something? Yeah. Well, anything that is you can browse with a Windows phone, so you can absolutely, yeah, not a problem. But the but is the actual courseware. This is a learning management system. When you actually get to a course, there's all this other stuff. When you actually get to a course, that's where the but comes in. And if you're on Windows, yes, you can, not a problem. If you're on Android, not a problem. Start to get to the I family. They got a bone to pick with Adobe, and so but I got the feeling that they're going to jump on, and so we're all learning as we go. The whole mobile thing is still like moving quicksand, the way things are happening so fast. I talk about breakthroughs and then incremental improvements, but we're pretty excited about giving you this thing. Feedback mechanisms, all I'm saying is, it used to be a hassle to do the social stuff outside of the training, so we're going to try to bring them closer together. So you're about to take a course. Is anyone else about to take this course? Did anybody take this course? This is what I'm sure wish we would have a course all of this sort of stuff. So we're excited about that. We're going to do a better job with the technology to push out what's coming, what's new, things like that. And then this last item is it slices and dices and makes mounds of julienne fries. Yes, and here's the new menuing system. if you have an Xbox joystick and a Windows phone, that works. Yeah.
Too funny.
We have we've had a shortage, and I've been working with Samaya for like a long time, since back even when they were human resources, to try to fill this gap. And we just can't find a person for the job. But the good news is we didn't hire anybody, and we have the technology now, so it's blended right in with the technology of the university. So it's like this virtual assistant. So to help Sheila out, take some load off of her. We worked with Brenda to try to predict. We're expecting to drop calls by almost 0.5%. We're going to answer the top 4 questions that people ask, like what the hell is this, and help them get enrolled. And the virtual assistant we actually called Greg, so it worked out pretty good. That's Greg. No, so the last 2 slides were just, I didn't know how to end. Except one thing, when somebody speaks, they're saying something that means a lot to them, and you guys mean a lot to me, so thank you very much. I just like to go out with something I heard Jeff said, more cowbell, so I thought that was a good job.